Hello friends, in this video I'm going to show you how you can configure your framework into page object model and how you can and I will try to help you understand the page object model and its features and how you can simplify your project by implementing page object. So let's assume this is the page you are going to automate, right? This is web applications you have to automate, and if you just see, this is very minimal page that has very least amount of features. This is the demo site anyway. So here if you see, there's a drop down and there's some links, right? These are the links that you have, and then you have all these features. So when you click here, it takes you to the computer page, which is totally different from that page, right? If you click April, it will go to April page, right? So these all things. So what we want to do here is just assume this is that small page, and also it has so many links and so many navigations, right? So it may have at least 15 to 20 different pages or more, right? Because you click here Suze is going to take you to the different page again. So everything is different, right? So what we want to do here is we want to simplify the process so that we can go to one specific location if we need some information or some changes that is required specific for that page. Okay, so today you write this test, you put everything in one big chunk, and then after a couple months there are some changes. So that changes may impact your entire test, and then it will be very harder for you to go find them, right? And you might have everything into separate pages, but also there's some patterns it's designed for you so that you can use to make even more simplified framework, right? So there are some design patterns that you would have to follow so that it will help you. The main object of the page, main feature of the page object model is to reduce your duplicate codes. So there won't be duplicate, so you can use these codes from one centralized location. If anything you need to write, go to that page class. Don't write everywhere. So just follow that rule, right? That's what it means. And then we're going to use some FindBy techniques so that it will help you writing less code and do your goal. So let's go to that. So this is the site I'm going to use as a URL. So let's go to this. So this is the brand new package. I have nothing here, so I'm going to create some util class in order to get me started. So new package. Inside main Java, this is my utils. So I'm going to put those in the util main com.my.utils. Okay, so that is the package I have. I'm going to create a new class here. So this class, I'm going to name that as a browser, right? I'm going to name that as a browser. And here in this class, what I'm trying to do here is I'm going to create some instance of private static WebDriver driver, right? And then I'm going to create here, let's import that WebDriver, and then I'm going to create some method here. So method would be public accessible method, public static WebDriver, initialize my browser. That may be my method. I'm going to return this with the driver. Okay, so before returning this driver, it will be just null, right? Right now it has nothing. I want to initialize my browser, so let me write some message here. Right, initializing my browser. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to open up new session. So to do that, I'm going to initialize. I'm doing the Chrome. It's up to you. You can put more options here. Give that as a parameterize what browser you want, and then put the switch cases or if else condition. Okay, I'm going to do that with the Chrome. So set property, not properties, property WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver. Okay, so the value would be the path where I have my Chrome driver extension. So in my case, I have Java resources slash Chrome driver dot exe. Let's get that one single guy, and that's it. So that's all it is going to take. Okay, so it is doing set property for Chrome driver extensions with this file. Okay, that is what I downloaded from Selenium HQ. So now next thing is I need to launch my browser, so which is a driver equals new Chrome driver. Okay, and one more thing what I want to do here is driver.get, and I need to give that URL address. I need to get that so that it will launch me that site. Okay, so here it will launch me the browser, new browser, and it will get this URL launched. Okay, and after that it is going to return me the driver. So this class I'm going to call everywhere I want to run my test. This method, it's a static method. I would just call browser.initialize my browser, and it is going to give me the driver. Okay, WebDriver driver. So that is the main purpose of this, so that I can initialize my driver and get this driver instance centrally from one location, so that I don't end up writing new Chrome browser and launching new Chrome browser every time. Okay, I want to launch Chrome browser only once. Next, we need to go here and create a new class. So this class I need to handle my pages. So what I'm going to do here is my page is the class name I'm going to handle. So in my page, what I'm going to do here is I need to first create an instance for WebDriver. So let me write that protected. Okay, next thing is I need to import that first, and then let me create a constructor for this guy. Okay, public. So whoever is going to do this instance, I want them to pass some WebDriver. Okay, so what I do here is this dot driver equals driver, and next thing what I want to do here is PageFactory initialize elements, and then what I'm going to do here is driver, and then what I'm going to pass here is this. Okay, that's all I want to do here. PageFactory dot initialize the elements for the driver and with this class. Okay, so this is what I want. So the PageFactory is going to come in action. It will initialize all the elements that you define. So that's the main thing we want to do here. Okay, so here recap in the browser what we're doing, we're simply let's go to browser, we're simply launching the new browser for Chrome and launching the new site, and then this method that is going to return me the driver. Okay, and in my page is just going to be the page object, so it is going to help me initializing all the elements. That's all it is doing. Okay, so it will just initialize these elements. Let's go to this. Now this class is going to be extended from every page class. That's my main target, so that I don't have to write this initialize everywhere. I'm just extending this class into any page class, so that it will help me doing this part. Okay, so let's go to this class. What do we do here? Now this part is done. Let me go to one test class here, new package. Okay, so new package would be com.my.homepage. Let's say this is my homepage package. Okay, and I'm going to handle anything related to homepage here. It's a new class. Okay, so I need to write here as homepage, because it's a page object. I need to define them as a page. It's just a naming pattern. Okay, so that it tells me this is a page class. So page class need to contain the elements definition, so any elements that is part of the page class. So if I go to home page, it is going to contain anything that is part of the page, right? So for example, this would be the US dollars or computers or these links, right? Or anything that you can see here will be part of the home page. Okay, so everything here. Okay, so let's go to this. First thing is you are launching this page and we create a home page. Now what I want to do here is extends my page. Every time you are opening new page class, extend that my page. Okay, let me save that. It will ask me to import that my page. Okay, I imported them. Now it won't be happy because it says, okay, you need to create a constructor for me. Look here, over add constructor. Okay, so I don't need that to do piece. So initializing is already done. So all I'm doing here is I created a constructor defining our web driver. That driver, please take it from the super. Okay, so take that driver from super. Super means go to super. Okay, the my page, that driver piece, come here and get it for me. That's all it is doing here. And then now let's do something here, something different that you haven't seen before. So to do the PageFactory, first of all, we are no more writing driver.findElement by ID or so and so. Now what we're doing is we are writing this as @FindBy annotation. And here you define what it is by, and then we'll write private web element, and then define that web element. Okay, so let's go pick up the item. So for example, you want to get the US dollar. Okay, if you want to go to US dollar, it's a select tag, so I don't care about the tag. All I take care is the ID. ID is for select tag, which means we're going to treat that as a drop down. Okay, so I'm going to define inside the FindBy, I'll say just a small letter ID, just like you would write in FindBy element. I'll give that currency ID, whatever I copied. So, and I'm defining a variable for this. So currency, so that is my variable for web element variable for this ID, which is a drop down. Okay, so we are no more writing this whole line of code anymore. We're just defining in two single lines. One line we are defining as a variable. Okay, so it would be like this, right? This whole thing we're defining as a this pattern. This whole thing we're defining as FindBy ID. That's all we're saying. This annotation is going to handle this whole piece. Then we create a variable. Okay, so that's all we're doing here. So we can continue to add these type of stuffs that as much as we want, and this is much readable, much cleaner, and you know, very clean, nice, and much readable. That's the main purpose. And if we need to change it, we just come here and change. Tomorrow anything changes on home page, ID changes, maybe it could be just one like that, we just come here and simply change one single location, so we don't have to go, you know, searching for throughout the package or project. So that's all we want there. Now what's next? Let's go to the URL. I need to get the register link. Okay, let me get the register link. So link is a is a link text, so I copy the register. Okay, so same thing, is nothing changed. Link text equals that. Okay, private web element register link. Okay, same thing here. So and so, right? So now let's do this. Okay, we can continue to write this. So if it's a class name, what you would do, you would write something that you want to do. Class name is class name, right? If it's a just name, you would write a small letter name, right? And if it's an XPath, you would write XPath, right? And then XPath expression here, let's say this is the link, then right, A, and then what do you do text, right, equals register, right? That's what you do for XPath, like that. And then if it is CSS, what you would do, CSS, you write CSS. This piece is a CSS expression, so you don't need to get this guy, right? And then what you do next, if it's a CSS, you do that with the CSS expression, right? And what you do next, if it is a link text, a tag name is tag name, everything. This piece hasn't changed, this piece hasn't changed. So you give however you have been defining into find elements by. Instead of CSS selector, you are doing CSS, only CSS. That's the only thing different. If you do find element by, you would do CSS selector like that. That's the only thing different. And by ID, by name, these are not changed. By class name, those are not changed. So let's remove them. Okay, I hope that has been so far clear and understanding. So let's move some more. I need to define a method that does those action here. Okay, so I'm here, public void navigate to register. Okay, that's my main theme. I need to launch my home page, and then I need to click here and go to this page. Okay, so now what I do here is this is already done, so I need to do that uses, right? So when you define find by, what do you do here? You are going to simply call them as a web element. Those are the variable. Okay, so let's do that. Now for selecting the drop down, I need to write, and I give that web element, right? Let's import this. So this is support UI select, right? Now dot visible text. Now I don't need value, I need a visible text. So euro is what I'm going to select here. Euro, I don't, US dollar is a default, so I'll leave that default there. And this is just to show you how you could use. It's very simple and easy. You know, back in the day you've been writing web element and that whole line of code. Instead of that, this is very clear, right? Clear, and you can easily modify them, and no duplicates, right? No duplicate codes. So this has been very clean and precise. So next thing, let's say I want to click to this link. What I do here, once that happens, I said dot click, right? This is very clean now. You see, it is already clean. Now let's say once you go there, I need to verify this URL, I'm in the right URL, right? So let me write that. Once you do that, okay, so I will write driver dot get URL, okay, dot equals right, equals this is the URL, right? So here this method I'm done here. So I'm going to select the drop down, and I'm going to click the link, and then I'm going to just validate that I'm in the right page. Now let's write the test for this. I can write test here, but I would rather prefer test being outside of this. So I need to create a class called homepage test, right? Homepage test is my next class, the final class, let's say. So here what I want to do here is I need to first initialize my driver. So web driver equals browser dot initialize my browser. Okay, so now I need to return that driver. I'll tell you why we need this. So let's write a test here. Public void navigate, let's say register test. Okay, those name can be anything, it's fine. Let's import this as a JUnit. Okay, so what I want here is I need to run this method here, right? So this method that has no test, nothing. So I need to call this guy obvious and create an object, right? Home page, let's say page equals new home page, right? And obviously that is going to ask me the driver, right? So driver, I need to pass this driver here, and then what I do here is, let's say page dot, I can call this method now, navigate to register. See how easy it is? Okay, that's all I want. And I don't need any before method because this has already handled me launching me the browser. So let's run this test now. Okay, it is launching me the page. Okay, launching the home page. If you see US dollar is going to be selected as a euro, it is selected. Now it is clicking register link, and we are on the register link. It will verify obvious that register URL, and I'm sure that will pass. And let's go back to our HTML code, which is green. Green is good. Okay, so here what we did here, let's go to quick recap. Browser.initialize my browser is going to initialize my browser by launching this site whole thing, and it will return me the driver. Okay, so let's go back. That's the driver. Whatever your driver you are going to initialize and return me, that driver is the one I'm going to take. That's what I'm doing here, so that driver I can pass for this home page. Okay, if you go to home page is looking for this driver, so that this is the driver they are going to perform the action on. Okay, so if you go to home page, that driver, whatever you are passing, is the one I want to use. That's what it is saying here. Okay, so next thing is what you're doing is you are doing that ID, FindBy ID, and FindBy ID is coming from PageFactory model. And what I'm doing here is whatever FindBy you are doing, I'm going to initialize them. Okay, that initialize is happening in my page. Okay, so my page has a constructor that is requiring WebDriver because it is extending from this guy. It has to call this constructor. Okay, public constructor, it has to make one. And what it is doing here is whatever driver you are passing, give me from the super. And next thing is I have a FindBy. I'm defining this whole thing, and now I'm using this as a variable, right? And then I created one simple method to test this out. I'm doing here is it's a drop down. I need to select register link is the link text. I did with the link text. If anything is with the name, I'll just give name here, or CSS, XPath. Nothing changed on that part. And after it's clicking, I want to validate that's the right place I'm launched. So I validate with the URL with the assert true. And I'm running this, calling this method as a test from different class as a test. Here I don't need to create any extents because I'm just creating an object of home page. Okay, I'm not extending my page here because it's not a page file. Extending page is going to contain the FindBy, these IDs, everything is going to be in the page class. Okay, these things cannot be in home page test. This is defined in page class. Page class is extending my page. Okay, so the initializing thing happens between these two relations. So in home page test, all we're doing is calling this method out. So any steps I need to write, I'll just write it in page class, and I'll simply call these steps here and make that a test. Okay, this will give me the new browser launching. This will launch me the browser, and then it will create the it will go with this step. It will get me that method which is going to do the testing activities. Okay, so now how you could do your framework is you need to first define the browser like this, which does this initializing thing, so you don't have to do this again. So this method is going to be centrally accessed. You have another page class that does initializing piece, and that's all you do here. And anything page related steps or test or whatever, it goes into test package, and inside that create a package based on pages. So tomorrow you want to go to register page, just create a new package called register. So I will do here new package. I'm not writing that here. So for register I'll do com.my.register. Okay, so register package is going to contain the classes like these, but those are for register. Okay, and then if you go here, this home page and home page text, so register is going to contain the similar. So every page you are going to write, you would just write like this, and this find by should be specific to that page only. Okay, and same thing with the method also, don't duplicate. These methods should be specific to that page only, so that you can use those variables, because these are private. I don't want this variable to be accessed outside. Okay, in order to remove the duplicates or redundancy. Next thing is, now I will call this class test. So now this test is probably going to test the register too. So that time I'm going to just write a new class called new object for register. I may write this class here inside this package, right? And then I may create a methods really associated to this page. Okay, and then every definition of locators for register page, I'm going to create that here. Okay, and then I'm going to call that method just like this. So it goes very clean code. Every page is specific, everything related to page goes to page. So your file gets very clean, organized, and you need to debug or make some small changes or bigger changes, your life will be very easy. So this is one of the design pattern you would follow for the page object PageFactory model. Okay, I think we ran out of time, so thank you very much. I think this has been very helpful for you. And then in that register page, I'm going to define these elements here in that class. Okay, so everything, and then methods associated to this. So those are the one only cover. If I go to books, I go create another package, another class for books, and the same thing with the test. Okay, so I think this has been very helpful for you, and please continue to watch my videos, subscribe my channel, and thank you very much for watching this video, and looking forward to see you in my next video. Thank you.